Coming up on this edition of SUTV News, reptiles roam the halls of NDSU.
A unique therapy program helps students cope.
And in sports, we take a look at the voice of the bison.
This is SUTV News, and it starts now.
Welcome to SUTV News. I'm Aaron Berner.
And I'm Nicole Johnson. During Christmas break in 2009, the north wall of Menard Hall collapsed.
Now, nearly 3 years later, construction is still going on. All communication professor Dr. Amy O'Connor really wants is a real door and some privacy. But it has been nearly 3 years since the Menard Hall wall collapsed, and she has had to get creative.
Originally, we didn't have any door at all, so the cubicle was completely open, and it was shorter, so that extension on the wall wasn't there. And so I had rigged up a shower curtain.
O'Connor was just one of the many faculty members who were relocated elsewhere after the incident. Here in the communication department in Ely Hall, they have lived in cubicles.
There's no conference room that we have as a department that we can consistently utilize to have those conversations with students or other private conversations, so that has been really challenging.
You can see that progress has been made to the building, but renovation has been slow, held back by legal issues of whose fault it was for the collapse, and by the age of the building itself.
The age of the building, we've run into, every time we open up and expose a hidden area, we're finding structural issues that have to be rectified.
Though facilities management is wary of giving a set-in-stone completion date, they say that the north addition is scheduled to be done right after the first of the year. In the meanwhile, O'Connor will have to continue to adapt.
I've left earlier because if I get in early, most people aren't here, so it's quiet to work.
Aaron Berner reporting, SUTV News. The English department also had to be moved to the neighboring Morrill Hall. The communication graduate students have been staying in a renovated section of Menard.
NDSU has made strides at becoming a leading university. SUTV News reporter Allie Weary sat down with the provost, Bruce Rayford, to find out what NDSU has done to achieve this success.
I'm joined today by Provost Bruce Rayford. Bruce, thank you for taking the time to sit down with us. Now, you've been at NDSU for about a year and a half, right? You started in July of 2011.
Thanks for inviting me over.
Oh. What are some of your biggest accomplishments that you've had so far?
I think, the things we've been able to do this past year really are the testimony of the team I have to work with, which is led by some phenomenal deans and some really tremendous department chairs, anchored by a number of student groups and organizations. I've had the opportunity to meet with all the student groups, or most of the student groups, and really have been impressed by the quality of the student leadership and the student government. Of all the universities I've worked at, there's no doubt in my mind that NDSU has the best student leaders and the best student government from top to bottom.
Now, it sounds like you're taking, the idea of student-focused to a whole new level. Has there been anything that's really surprised you?
No, not at all. In fact, I was just rereading my cover letter when I was applying for the position of provost, and I noticed that I used the word student-centered land-grant research university. So it's clear that my interest and those of the university have aligned from the very beginning. I think before our most recent iconic image and publicity has gone forward. It's been one positive surprise after another. The students are just the best I've seen anywhere. The faculty are committed to the institution. I'm blessed really with a group of deans that works as hard, if not harder than I do, for the success of their colleges.
Menard Hall is just about done, and I know the comm department has been displaced for almost 2 years now. What does that mean for that department and others that are in that part of Menard Hall that will be finally back in their offices?
Well, it's a game changer. Menard Hall has gone from being a good building to being a great building, and people are very excited about getting back into it. It has really been the project has been done, I think, with a lot of attention to detail. There's been, as with any complex project, there's been some scheduling issues, so it's coming in a little bit later than we had hoped. But it will hit us right on the the end of the semester this spring. It'll be an opportunity for people to move back in at their leisure over the summer. And what that will do, that will release a lot of other space on campus that's really needed for students, for research activities, for new faculty we hope to be hiring next fall.
One last question here. With all of the various colleges that we have within the university, is there any, big change coming to any of them that would really draw in prospective students?
Well, like I said before, the student demand at NDSU in every college is very strong. The word is out that if you're looking for a place on the rise nationally, that's NDSU.
A department at NDSU is trying to minimize the fear people have about reptiles. We'll take a close look at their efforts after we show you this 7-day forecast.
Jitters is your home for quality coffee drinks. Whether you crave an espresso, iced coffee, mocha, or macchiato, Jitters has just what you need. Now featuring breakfast foods like caramel rolls, bagels, and more, be sure to get your day started right. Located on 12th Avenue North, Jitters has a friendly, relaxed atmosphere with Wi-Fi capability to get all of your studying done on time. Get your fix only at Jitters.
Hey, I'm Alex.
I'm Austin.
And I'm here to tell you about 15 on 15.
It means MapBus arrives every 15 minutes on Route 15, from downtown
to around town. Find out more about 15 on 15 at mapbus.com.
Check it out on Facebook and Twitter, keyword MapBus.
It's so fast and convenient.
There are way more than 15 reasons to check out 15 on 15.
I ride MapBus.
And I ride MapBus.
And you should too.
Watch SU TV News on Cable One. Produced by students of Bison Information Network, we promise to bring you all the latest news and sports from the campus of North Dakota State University. Watch SU TV News on Cable One Channel 14. Brought to you in part by Shields and Stop and Go. SU TV News is brought to you by Stop and Go. Stop and Go. We're always there.
The final presidential debate between President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney took place this past Monday.
Both candidates speak well, but how candidates portray themselves non-verbally is just as important as how they do verbally. Nonverbal communication involves eye contact, body language, and hand gestures. On a national scale, these nonverbals affect how we view candidates. Even how their wives dress is something that voters look at and analyze. Along with what they are saying during the speeches, the nonverbals a candidate sends help us to decide who we're going to vote for.
So I think the nonverbal component should be a huge part of how we judge the candidates and who we're going to vote for. Because again, it does demonstrate quite a bit that they're not saying, that we get to see outside of what they're saying non-verbally.
60 to 70% of all communication is nonverbal.
The NDSU Herpetology Department in Stevens Hall is more interactive than ever before, with the involvement of this year's staff. Herp Day was this week, where students were able to handle and learn about some of the resident reptiles. The herpetology staff's goal is to increase an interest in reptiles while hopefully decreasing the common fear towards the creatures. This fear has developed mostly because of the lack of knowledge about the reptiles. Along with educating students about of NDSU about the creatures, the animals also visit different locations to get youth interested in animal science.
We have a couple of animals here that, like this guy, who are really good with kids and people. This one was bred here at NDSU, so it's been around people its whole life. And we bring them to schools, local schools around the area for like ambassador days to get kids familiar with reptiles, to encourage passion in animal science.
In addition to the regular paid staff, volunteers are always welcome to join the herpetology team if they wish to care for the animals and learn more about them.
Some students are finding that during midterm season, a little power nap can go a long way. According to Livestrong Fitness, a quick 20-minute nap can be even more effective than about 2 regular coffees. A lack of sleep can have negative effects on a person's everyday life. WebMD reports that the average adult gets 6 to 8 hours of sleep per night, but some college students admit to getting less.
I get like maybe 6 hours a night, if that's a good night, which obviously isn't enough. I'm always tired when I wake up. But I can't fall asleep unless it's like after midnight.
Other benefits include a good nap into your day can decrease irritability and have steadier blood pressure.
Popular energy drink in the United States is getting some unwanted publicity. The Food and Drug Administration is investigating reports of 5 deaths associated with Monster energy drinks. The company is being sued by the family of a girl who died after consuming 2 cans within 24 hours. Monster doesn't believe they are responsible and reported they are unaware of any fatalities caused by their drinks.
Man's best friend is helping to make getting through rough times a little easier. After we show you this week's campus calendar, we'll take a look at how a duo on campus is helping with NDSU students.
Watch SU TV News on Cable 1. Produced by students of Bison Information Network, we promise to bring you all the latest news and sports from the campus of North Dakota State University. Watch SU TV News on Cable 1 Channel 14. Brought to you in part by Shields and Stop and Go.
Hey, I'm Alex.
I'm Austin.
And I'm here to tell you about 15 on 15.
It means MapBus arrives every 15 minutes on Route 15, from downtown
To around town. Find out more about 15 on 15 at mapbus.com.
Check it out on Facebook and Twitter, keyword MapBus.
It's so fast and convenient.
There are way more than 15 reasons to check out 15 on 15.
I ride MapBus.
And I ride MapBus.
And you should too.
You may have walked past the best tacos without noticing.
A new taco truck in downtown Fargo is getting some free publicity. 3 NDSU communication students created a campaign for Romo's Taco Truck. In addition to social media, the students put on an event to increase customers. All night on Friday, the authentic Mexican tacos were $1. The event was open to the public through Facebook, Twitter, flyers,
Really
and word of
excited.
mouth.
We're hoping that we'll get a lot of people out here. It's kind of rainy, so hopefully this will be better than rain to bring them in here, get exposure for the guys in the taco truck, plus also bring everybody out on a good Friday night.
Romo's Tacos is the only food truck here in Fargo. They are located on Broadway in the parking lot of Fort Knox during the weekends.
NDSU held the 6th Bison Best Robotics Competition this weekend. Past weekend, BEST stands for Boosting Engineering, Science, and Technology. 13 teams made up of high school students competed with robots they worked with for 6 weeks. Participants received rules and identical sets of parts to construct the robots that had to perform tasks like transporting cargo, retrieving, and refilling bottles.
Just something about robots that makes people think, wow, that's really cool. And it really captures the excitement of these kids.
This year's competition revolved around a space elevator.
Do you need a pick-me-up after the ongoing dreary days and midterm stress? NDSU's Counseling Center has a therapy dog named Brinkley who is more than willing to put a smile on your face. Counseling, as you may know, has a lot of stigma associated with it. Amber and her therapy dog Brinkley are an inspirational duo working to make counseling a positive experience for all types, especially animal lovers.
Research shows that having a therapy pet, or they call it a companion animal, is part of, and the technical term is animal-assisted therapy, that it helps kind of, what I say, it distracts them from all that uncomfortableness that they're feeling, because they walk in and they see Brinkley, they're like, oh my God, he's so cute, or what type of breed is he? And all of a sudden they start talking, and it starts the conversation off.
Brinkley has a lot of experience in his field, and he visits children's hospitals as well as assisting in therapy sessions at NDSU. Amber says Brinkley loves getting love.
After the Bison football team won the national championship last year, there have been a lot of expectations by fans hoping for the team to win. 2 games ago, the Bison unexpectedly lost, but on Saturday, the Bison shut out the University of South Dakota 54-0.
On this week's Sidewalk Stampede, we set out to see how students feel about this football phenomena.
Well, I think when you have a good team as we have right now, it's actually a good thing to lose one like that, because then you realize, that you're not totally unbeatable, and you go back to practice and step it up and then go out and beat a team 50-0 like we did.
I think ultimately that the Bison, if they lose, they know how to come back from it. They won the championships last year, so they can pretty much pull through anything.
I think it's really good to reassert their dominance as being champions last year.
I know last year we had lost a game. We're still national champions, so I'm not too worried about that one loss. We're still gonna be the best in the country.
Joining us now is sports anchor Morgan Lubin. I agree with the guy in the North Face jacket. We lost games last year, but we're still national champions.
Yeah, how about that support from Bison Nation? The Bison lose a tough game at home after a good homecoming win. To still have support and believe in the team is great. Speaking of that win versus USD, we'll recap the game with SUTV Sports after this.
Jitters is your home for quality coffee drinks. Whether you crave an espresso, iced coffee, mocha, or macchiato, Jitters has just what you need. Now featuring breakfast foods like caramel rolls, bagels, and more, be sure to get your day started right. Located on 12th Avenue North, Jitters has a friendly, relaxed atmosphere with Wi-Fi capability to get all of your studying done on time. Get your fix, only at Jitters.
Hey, I'm Alex.
I'm Austin.
And I'm here to tell you about 15 on 15.
It means MapBus arrives every 15 minutes on Route 15, from downtown
to around town. Find out more about 15 on 15 at mapbus.com.
Check it out on Facebook and Twitter, keyword MapBus.
It's so fast and convenient.
There are way more than 15 reasons to check out 15 on 15.
I ride MapBus.
And I ride MapBus.
And you should too.
Watch SU TV News on Cable One. Produced by students of Bison Information Network, we promise to bring you all the latest news and sports from the campus of North Dakota State University. Watch SU TV News on Cable One Channel 14. Brought to you in part by Shields and Stop and Go. SU TV Sports is brought to you by Shields. Ready for your next big adventure? Welcome to Shields.
Welcome back. After a heartbreaking defeat to Indiana State 2 weeks ago, the Bison football team was back in action on Saturday. They took on the University of South Dakota at the neutral site of Sioux Falls. Out to Sioux Falls now. They had to move the game just to hold the crowd. Look at that Bison crowd on hand. The Bison fans travel well. We'll pick up the action in the first quarter. Samuel Jur will take the handoff, bully his way into the end zone. One of his 2 touchdowns on the day. Bison were up 14-0. In the second quarter, now Brock Jensen rushes into the end zone for his second touchdown of the day, and things started to get ugly for USD. Later on in the second quarter, Brock Jensen is going to find Nate Moody right there. That tackle rips the jersey, not good enough to bring down Moody. Moody will make his way into the end zone. He had a career high in yards. Bison led 26-0 at halftime. Early in the fourth, now check out this catch by Trevor Gebhardt. And what a throw by Brock Jensen, as Gebhardt also had a career high in receiving yards. The Bison would go on to win the game 54-0. Jensen is now second all-time for career yards. Looking ahead to this Saturday now, where the Bison will face Southern Illinois, who is tied atop the Missouri Valley Football Conference. That game will kick off at 2:30 at the Dome. There are many ups and downs in life, and for the voice of the Bison, that is no exception. SU TV Sports reporter Jake Cheetah has more on a roller coaster 6 months for Scott Miller.
Anyone who has listened to the Bison on the radio has heard hometown man Scott Miller call the game.
I know the area well, grew up in Minot, so that I was aware of both North Dakota State and UND, and so it's fun to follow the Bison.
Scott won North Dakota Broadcaster of the Year in 2011.
The fact that it's voted on by your peers really makes it special.
An honor well-deserved by a very hardworking man.
I have never seen anyone pour over stats and pour over the opposing team and go over details like he does.
Soon after receiving this honor, Scott Miller received very bad news. In April, he was diagnosed with skin cancer.
You know, I'm very sensitive towards that, of what he's going through.
I am very thankful that I'm able to continue to do my work. It does affect my stamina, so I get fatigued a little bit more easily.
His job keeps him excited and energized.
I've done this now for a long time, and it is still really exhilarating to me.
It's still the same old Scotty pouring over stats.
Miller is getting treatment and doing the best he can to put smiles on fans' faces with his token catchphrase.
I'm somewhat embarrassed by it, actually. I didn't sit down and say, you know, I really need to come up with a catchphrase. I'm flattered that people like it.
We hope to hear more from Miller in the future.
I don't know exactly what my long-term future is, and I don't know where I'll wind up, but if I wind up staying as the voice of the NDSU Bison, I'll be perfectly happy.
Good news for any Bison fan. Jake Cheetah reporting, SU TV Sports.
Scott Miller says he is doing well and is thankful to NDSU and the radio station for allowing him to continue to do his work. You can hear Scott for the rest of the Bison football season and all throughout the Bison basketball season. The top 4 soccer teams in the Summit League advanced to the conference tournament in Brookings, South Dakota. The Bison went into their matchup with Kansas City, sitting 5th place, needing to gain 1 position with just 2 games left. out to Ellick Sports Complex now on senior day as Jordan Wallenborn, leading the Summit League in conference goals scored, is honored in the 10th minute. Nisha Kinnerath will make her way into the box and gets tripped and be awarded a penalty kick. On the penalty kick, she'll blast it past the goalie and give the NDSU a 1-0 lead. In the 61st minute now, it's going to be Kinnerath again on another free kick, finds Megan Johnston past everyone for her first career goal as the Bison go on to win the game 2-1. The win propels the Bison into the fourth position in the Summit League, one ahead of South Dakota State. The Bison have one Summit League game remaining this Sunday at Omaha. If they win, they clinch a playoff spot. After going 4-1 in the homestand, the Bison volleyball team will hit the road to try to revenge losses to IUPUI and Western Illinois. With the Bison tied for fourth in the Summit League, they couldn't afford to drop any spots. The Bison continue Summit League play this weekend when they host IUPUI, on the road, they lost to IUPUI 3-1 and took down Western Illinois in 3-2 to revenge that loss. The Bison continue Summit League play this weekend when they host first place team in the Summit League Fort Wayne on Friday and Oakland, who is tied with the Bison for fourth place on Saturday. I tell you what, guys, back to that Scott Miller story. What a great story put together by Jake. Really tough to see such a great person going through such a terrible thing.
Well, I would agree with that as well. A new fad has made its way to the area. We'll take a closer look at this trend that has everyone's eyes wild with excitement.
Watch SU TV News on Cable One. Produced by students of Bison Information Network, we promise to bring you all the latest news and sports from the campus of North Dakota State University. Watch SU TV News on Cable One Channel 14. Brought to you in part by Shields and Stop and Go.
Hey, I'm Alex.
I'm Austin.
And I'm here to tell you about 15 on 15.
It means MapBus arrives every 15 minutes on Route 15, from downtown
to around town. Find out more about 15 on 15 at mapbus.com.
Check it out on Facebook and Twitter, keyword MapBus.
It's so fast and convenient.
There are way more than 15 reasons to check out 15 on 15.
I ride MapBus.
And I ride MapBus.
And you should too.
Long, voluminous, and tinted, eyelashes are an important facial feature that more women are starting to take notice of. Eyelash tinting is a new alternative way to get the full mascara look without the hassle of applying it, the trend becoming more popular in Fargo-Moorhead. In under half an hour, you can have striking eyelashes. To start, the stylist preps the eye with Vaseline and applies a vegetable-based dye. The dye sets for 15 minutes and is taken off with eye makeup remover and rinsed out with contact solution, giving the effect of dark, full lashes. The dye lasts 4 to 6 weeks and naturally fades over time. The procedure is fairly common and spikes during summer months.
We have a lot of people coming in because everyone goes to the lakes in the summer. A lot of people come in June, May, July, that time, because it keeps, you don't have to wear mascara, keeps your eyelashes dark.
Thank you for watching this edition of SU TV News. Check us out at our website and have a great night.